Welcome back to our 8 on Your Side Responds Vaccine Special. We have a team of experts answering your questions. And one frequently asked question, how do I sign up for a vaccine? You cannot sign up for a vaccine through the Department of Health website in Pennsylvania. This map shows where vaccines may be available. If you click on the blue dots, you are then provided with either a web link or a phone number to contact that location. If you don't have access to a computer, you can call the Department of Health for help in locating a vaccination site near you. That number is 1-877-PA-HEALTH. That's 1-877-724-3258. We called that number, and after hitting several numbers to ask about the coronavirus vaccine, we spoke to a person who asked for our zip code and offered to give us phone numbers of places that have or are expecting to get vaccine. And now more of our conversation with Dr. Oz. And this is a common question. Are there problems if you're taking antibiotics? Any concerns about any drugs with the vaccine?
No problems with antibiotics. There is a concern about nonsteroidal anti-inflammatory medications like the ibuprofen drugs. And you might want, they could theoretically reduce production of cytokines and the neutralizing antibodies. Those are the soldiers that you're making to fight against COVID-19. You don't want your body to be too calm when you're being vaccinated. You want your body to go out there and fight. And so you probably shouldn't take a nonsteroidal around the time of your vaccine. However, if you're already taking them for another reason, for a medically appropriate reason, then keep taking them. It's not that big a deal.
But you can take the acetaminophen like a Tylenol?
Again, you can. We don't know what impact that will have on slowing down your body's reaction. So personally, and what I did with my own vaccinations, I took nothing. Now, if I'd had a high fever, I didn't. But if I'd had a high fever reaction to the second shot, I would have taken acetaminophen. But generally speaking, make sure you got symptoms. Don't treat prophylactically.
Absolutely. So don't take it beforehand.
Definitely not.
Here's another question. After testing positive, how long do you have to wait to get the vaccine? This is a good question. I had this question myself.
Well, 3 months is the number given by the CDC. I bet you we could probably go longer. We know that immunologically you're safe for 6 to 8 months. I've always believed that it made sense to give people who have not been exposed to the vaccine first. The fire department in New York City said we're not getting vaccinated because we all got sick with COVID-19. And so we at least have 6 months of protection. Why rush in and get in line when people have no protection, should be getting the first shots? I think over time, the CDC will come to believe that we have a reasonable amount of protection from having gone through the virus. It's not 100%, but it's so good that we could probably stall getting vaccinated till the rest of the country has gotten protected.
Well, is that natural immunity that you have from having had COVID as good as the immunization?
We don't know. I suspect not, because when you get the actual virus, people react in very different ways. Whereas the vaccine was meticulously trialed in large clinical trials with tens of thousands of people with lots of data that can educate our recommendations. So I'd rather get the vaccines than get the infection. And I'd rather, not have to rely only on the infection for protection. Certainly we can't as a country make that move, because some people have definitely gotten reinfected after thriving through the first infection, only to fall, 3 months later to a second variant of the COVID-19. And I think we'll start to see that more as more of these variants come to this country.
And there doesn't appear to be any danger to getting the vaccine earlier than, as you suggested, the 90 days or so, if you want to, or if you...
There's no side effects that we're that worried about, certainly nothing serious. However, there has anecdotal reports that people have more of a reaction to the second shot of the vaccine if they've had COVID-19, but that's purely anecdotal. We don't have any evidence for that. And the reactions usually aren't that severe. There's some, again, rare exceptions, but generally speaking, people tolerate the vaccinations well. The fever, the soreness that you get after the second shot is evidence that the infection is working.
Yeah, that your immune system is responding. Let's move on. Is it required to stay the 15-minute observation after the shot, or can you skip that? And why do you need to stay that 15 minutes?
I would not skip that 15 minutes. I mean, my goodness, a healthcare professional is willing to watch you carefully to make sure you don't have an allergic reaction. Take advantage of it. It's free. There are some cases, the most dangerous complication, frankly, is people having anaphylactic reactions. Bad, like the kinds you would get if you're allergic to shrimp or bees, and you get the hives all over your body and you have trouble breathing. So although allergies are not a contraindication to getting vaccinated, we do want to watch you just to make sure that you're not one of the people who will have a cross reaction with the vaccine.
And my understanding is those reactions have been very minimal among the millions who have gotten this vaccine.
They have been minimal. We're actually learning now that, it's often related to cross reactions with other allergens like polysorbate. Polysorbate is found in frozen desserts. So if you're allergic to dessert, maybe you want to observe more carefully.
Another question, is the second dose of Moderna just the same as the first dose, or is it different? And I guess we could address the Pfizer as well.
These second doses are basically the same as the first doses. We just want to give you a second sign. Here's what happens. The metaphor is you see something bad. You're not sure if it's that bad. That's the first shot. So you just get careful and pay more attention, but you don't overreact. Then you see that same bad thing again. That's the second shot. Now you're ready. This is not just a coincidence. You go out and you attack it. And that's metaphorically what's happening with the second shot. They need to be the same, and they should be the same so that your body, it knows that it's the same thing happening again. It can react as appropriate.
And you're getting the same amount of that vaccine in each dose?
Same amount of the vaccine in each dose. The vaccine amounts are really not that critical because it's your body doing all the work. The vaccine just tells your body to make more of these little markers of COVID-19. That's the elegance of the mRNA technology. It's really not new technology. It was initially researched for cancer. And I believe some of the great cancer treatments that are going to come over the next few years are going to be based on mRNA technology. These companies that were aiming at killing off cancer cells just shifted to killing off virus, because the technology could allow each.
Lancaster County is planning a mass vaccination site, and the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency is also planning for mass vaccination sites. 8 on Your Side reporter Brian Roach spoke to Pima about the logistics.
When you think of PEMA, the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency, you probably think of natural disasters. But right now, they're helping to create the pipeline to your vaccine.
What is PEMA's role in getting that vaccine into my arm?
We're kind of the agency that's really leading the charge on operationalizing the community vaccination centers, or what people think of as mass vaccination centers across the state.
Stadiums, parking lots, empty warehouses, and even vacant department stores like this here at the Park City Center. PEMA says it's ready to set up mass vaccination sites in all of those kinds of locations, but it's keeping in mind that what may work in the big city won't necessarily work in the suburban areas or the rural areas.
How close are we to having mass vaccination sites in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania?
The window into the future right now for vaccine is about 2 to 3 weeks. So we will realize that if our allocation or Department of Health realizes their allocation increases, we have the ability to be able to turn on community vaccination centers.
But that's only after the vaccine becomes more widely available. If it does, the Federal Emergency Management Agency has developed plans that could vaccinate up to 6,000 people a day.
And they came out with a community vaccination center playbook, and that's what we're following. So the highest throughput site that they have is what's considered to be a type 1 site, and they're estimating about 6,000 vaccines a day. And then, a type 2 site is about 3,000 vaccines a day.
This mass vaccination a few weeks ago in the Lehigh Valley provided some insight to PEMA on what works and what doesn't when vaccinating large amounts of patients.
We're going to see sites get established once we get enough vaccine to establish a minimal flow through these sites. And then as more vaccine becomes available, then you'll see a lot of these sites scale accordingly to the larger amount of vaccine that becomes available.
The message from PEMA, it's ready to go with mass vaccination sites once it has the most important ingredient.
It's really, because of the lack of vaccine right now, it's not like we're holding back vaccine. We want to really get the vaccine out there, and we really want to have an efficient process.
Brian Roach on Your Side, WGAL News 8.
As we have said during this hour, Dr. Joseph Contra, Chief of Infectious Diseases at Lancaster General Health, has been keeping an eye on the WGAL Facebook page. Dr. Contra, any questions or comments that stand out to you?
Sure, Susan. People are asking about the delay in the second dose. I think that's the most common question. And I think we've addressed that. You should get the second dose as soon as you can. If it's even delayed beyond 6 weeks, I don't have any doubt that the vaccine would still work. And people are asking, how can I know that for sure? And although there's no formal recommendation to check blood antibody levels after getting these vaccines, if you're very worried about having had the vaccine, say 2 months down the road, after 2 weeks go by from the second dose, you could get an antibody test to prove that you have immunity.
Any other questions there?
Sure. People are worried about side effects of the vaccines. People don't like having side effects, but what I try and reinforce is that the side effects are evidence that you can feel that the vaccine is actually working. So that soreness in your arm, that flu-like illness with some fatigue and some body aches, that's the vaccine preparing you to fight off the real COVID virus. Those are transient symptoms. They go away. They can be treated easily, and seldom do they last more than about a day. So expect some side effects, especially with the second dose. It's okay. It's what the vaccine is supposed to be doing.
It means your body's revving up that immune system. Well, thank you very much. We will check back with you again during our special. Coming up next.
We're in this window where we have the opportunity to get people vaccinated ahead of more cases occurring.
We take more of your questions to a Susquehanna Valley doctor, including whether to get the vaccine if you're taking blood thinners. Also ahead, as thousands of adults wait for their turn to get the COVID vaccine, when could children get the shot?
We don't have a lot of biological reasons to think that it wouldn't be safe and effective for children. That's just something that we want to prove before we recommend it.
Coming up, 8 on Your Side reporter Ann Shannon talks to an infectious disease doctor about what needs to happen to prove it's safe and how soon it could be available.